Hola y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presidente y es el mejor cerveza. No abate por No Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito not with us today. Will the Thrill not with us today, but we're going to check in on him because he had knee replacement surgery yesterday. Regardless, well, as you guys know, we like to come on here each and every single morning and properly salute our boys as well as each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks. When we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 4th day of February 2025. I found it fascinating this morning. So I write the daily hustles, right? And then I go back and now I got a little routine where I'll post it on social. But for the emails, I'll go back and I'll look at like cool, I don't know, historical things that happen on that day. It's just a way to give the people who are willing to engage with the email a little bit more. And so I started ripping through some of the things that happened on February 4th. And usually, I don't know, there might be 2 or 3 really fascinating things that I want to talk about or discuss or put up there. This morning, and maybe I was just feeling a little historical for whatever reason, but I went ahead and laid out all sorts of things that have happened of significance throughout the course of the year. So, on that note, let's get to today's daily hustle. But first, as you guys know, we got to hit the title sponsor. All right. The title sponsor is Bet Online, the #1 online gambling destination for all the latest news, scores, odds, predictions. Go to Bet Online. The Super Bowl is coming up. Last I checked, you had the Chiefs laying -130, 1.5 point favorite. So with that, I still like the Eagles. I don't know why. Joe thinks I'm fucking crazy. At some point, this run's got to end. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe Patrick Mahomes just knows how to win football games. You know what's crazy? They hadn't scored 30 points all year. 30 fucking points all year. Until, of course, they played the Bills, who averaged over 30 a game. And sure enough, the Chiefs did what they had to do. So, if you want to lay your action on the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. Go to Bet Online. Type in the promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. Bet Online. The game starts here. You know where else the game starts? At least for your feet. On the foot reflexology board. Go to, ericbyrnes.com to pick up a brand new foot reflexology board. Mine's starting to miss pegs. I got like 19 of them scattered throughout the house. So, yeah. And after a while, they are going to wear down. I mean, it just happens. Or wooden boards, right? But that's why I keep so many around. While at ericbyrnes.com, you go ahead and pick yourself up an effort list, a daily hustle 222 unfiltered life guidance from a human crash test dummy, and let them play a parenting and coaching guide to youth sports. All 3, I'm going to stay optimistic with this, future best sellers. And you know what should be a bestseller? Check this out. This is a flippy bat. This is a custom piece, 1 of 1. But I will tell you, if you call my guy Gary over at Birdman Bats, he will make you one of these. Look at the double Birdman. How cool is that logo, by the way? I mean, the more I think about it, holy shit. This is kind of creepy. It looks like me. Huh. Anyway, ericbyrnes.com for the books and the board and Birdman Bats. Make sure you reach out to my guy Gary over there, and he will take very good care of you. All right, now let's get to today's electronic email communication titled, and why is this thing so funky? Let's see here. Huh. Keep dancing. That was the title today. Buenos dias. Today is, as we went over this earlier, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. And on this day throughout history, a lot of historical shit has happened. 1783, the American Revolutionary War officially ended. 1789, George Washington was elected first president. I found that interesting. So it took, by the time the war ended and George Washington was elected president, there was still a 6-year gap in between. 1913, Rosa Parks was born. 1924, first Winter Olympics. 1962, the Beatles' first TV appearance. 1974, Patty Hearst was kidnapped. 1976, and this is a late addition to the Daily Hustle, but 1976, the Great Blade, otherwise known as Zach Walls, my teammate at St. Francis High School, we sacked Tom Brady 6 times collectively in a game, 3 apiece. Zach then went on to play in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals and had himself a nice career, played about 6 years, and actually roomed with Pat Tillman. And that's how I got to know Pat a little bit. Really super cool. So that was 1976. Zach Walls born. That was 49 fucking years ago. Holy shit, man. Seriously, right? I mean, just poof. Oh, we wake up one day and, yeah, 49. I got mine coming up here soon. And then 2004, Facebook was founded. Daily Hustle quote of the day: those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Nishiki. Daily Hustle translation: no matter what we do in life, there's going to be naysayers, doubters, and people who think we are flat out fucking crazy as we passionately pursue our dreams. I've told this story many times before in the Daily Hustle, but when I was in the 8th grade, I wrote a paper for Career Day declaring that I wanted to be a professional baseball player and sports broadcaster. My teacher responded by saying I need to rewrite the paper and pick something more realistic. Dejected, as I should have been, I told my mom I thought that was bullshit, and she agreed. The next day, she personally hand-delivered my paper back to the teacher and told her there was no doubt in her mind that I was going to be a professional baseball player and a sports broadcaster. So that paper was the only one I was going to write. My teacher obviously thought both my mom and I were insane, but it's tough to blame her. While we were busy dancing to the beat of our own drum, the poor lady couldn't hear the fucking music. EB. Okay, so here's the funny thing with all this. I actually really like the teacher. And she was known as kind of being a hard ass, a bit militant. Her class was also known to be a very good class. And it was very, I think, maybe outside of her character. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was that she thought, and I do believe that this teacher believed in me, not necessarily from the professional sports and broadcasting angle, obviously, but when I was in junior high school, I was known as a jock, right? An athlete, and that was sort of my thing. So, when I was in 6th grade, I was playing up with the 7th and 8th graders and just always had a ton of success from an academic realm of things. And in 7th and 8th grade, from an athletic realm, and then in 7th and 8th grade, I got focused academically because I knew that I wanted to go to St. Francis and I knew I had to get my grades up. Yeah, whatever. So I did. I spent a lot of time putting in the work I needed to get done from an academic standpoint. And I think this teacher saw that. And I think the teacher appreciated that. And I actually did really well in her class. But I also think that the teacher wanted me to break out of that, hey, you're not just going to be a professional sports player. Like, there's this whole other realm of life that I think you have the talent for. So I do think, as I've told this story over the years, it's a little hard. And other than other than a couple people, and obviously my mom and a couple others that had heard the story and know the story and know the teacher, I have not revealed her name. And I won't do it. I just won't, because I don't think that is fair to her. So there isn't this big flippy necklace, fuck you, or anything else. If anything, I actually kind of saw it as a compliment, but at the same time, I was looking at it like, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I really want to do this. And not only do I want to do it, in my mind, I'm going to fucking do it. And that's the mentality I think that it takes to be a professional baseball player. That's the mentality it takes to chase a career such as sports broadcasting that you have to have. You have to be obsessed. And even back then, and look, it's okay if our goals change, if things change, it's fine. But I think along the way, we need to realize that you've got to be all in. And no matter what I've done in my life, I've been all in. And again, even from the academic standpoint, in that 7th, 8th grade time, and then also through high school, I was all in. I was all into school, and I was all into sports. And the school thing, yeah, a little ulterior motive. Did I love school? No, not really. I loved history. Math was okay. I liked the problem solving stuff. But I basically knew that I wanted to go to either Stanford or UCLA. And with that, that was going to take getting really good grades. So I dedicated myself to that. Again, then when I signed professionally for baseball, eventually, it was full send to do whatever I could do to get to the big leagues. And then once I got to the big leagues, I had to do whatever I could do to stay in the big leagues. And after the big leagues, it was whatever I needed to do, however hard I needed to work to find my way into the sports broadcasting game. So, and like anything, if you want to be a baseball player, you know what you got to do? You got to fucking play baseball. You want to be a sports broadcaster, you know what you got to do? You got to broadcast. No matter what you want to do with life, if you want to be a triathlete like I wanted to be after I got done playing baseball, you know what you got to do? Swim, bike, run. You want to be an ultra marathoner? You know what you got to do? Run a really fucking long way. So all of these things are things that I dedicated my time to. You know, from there, it was chasing the Guinness World Record of golf for the speed golf thing. You know what I did? I played a shit ton of freaking speed golf. So all of this just sort of lines up. It goes back to us having the belief, us having the passion, and us having the ability to chase, and continue to chase. While believing in ourselves, while listening to our own music. Even today with No Filter Network or with Pickleball, I'm on this journey, and there's all sorts of noise here, and here, but I'm going to remain doing what I love to do. And that ultimately, I think for all of us, no matter what stage in life we are in, that's important. That's fucking everything. And then when our kids get to see us, not just listen to us, right? Our actions speak way louder than our words ever will. So anyhow, on that note, let's get to a few of the news items from today. Not a ton going on. Like, I've really kind of noticed the past few days, the Super Bowl week with no football, the first weekend that we hadn't had football since, was it September? Probably August was last weekend. And then obviously you got the Super Bowl this weekend. Okay, article just came out. Voter who snubbed Ichiro, still unknown. As the BBWAA releases Hall of Fame ballots, the Baseball Writers Association of America released the individual ballots of every Hall of Fame voter who elected to make their ballot public. But the lone ballot that didn't include Ichiro Suzuki's name was not among the 321 released Tuesday morning. A total of 394 people submitted their ballots to the Hall of Fame for the 2025 induction class. Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner each eclipsed the requisite 75% needed to gain election. Those three players, along with two selected by the Eras Committee, Dave Parker and Dick Allen, will be inducted to the Hall of Fame in July. Although it is not mandatory for voters to make their ballots public, there is an option on the ballot for voters to allow the BWAA to release their ballots 2 weeks after the results are revealed. A check appeared beside Suzuki's name on all 321 ballots released on the organization's website. Okay, this is bullshit. If you're going to have a Hall of Fame vote, the ballot's got to be made public. It's got to. It is absolute fucking stupid to think that you could go ahead and check whatever you want, not check whatever you want, write in whoever you want, and not be held accountable. With great freedom, I say freedom, the freedom to vote for whoever you want comes great responsibility. So if you're looking at this and you're an outsider, I want these guys held accountable. Now, does it mean that we should strip them of their vote? No, not necessarily. But I just want an explanation. So if you did not vote for Ichiro, what's the reasoning? Was it the fact that you wanted him to have 4,000 hits instead of 3,000? The fact that his rookie year was what, like at 27 as opposed to 20? I don't know. Was it the lack of power? And you could make some arguments and say, hey, look, like, I think Hall of Famers are guys that, should hit more homers. You could come up with whatever the fuck you're going to come up with, but you need to be held accountable. It almost makes me think at this point now, because usually you do find out who that person was, but it almost makes me believe that somebody forgot to check a box. Think about that. Like, Mariano Rivera is the only one who has been a unanimous Hall of Famer. And then you have guys like, I think, Ken Griffey Jr. and Derek Jeter, and now Ichiro, who just missed by one vote. So if that's the case, by the way, right? And, I would say go back and check with that person. Yo, did you omit him on purpose? Or was this something that you actually meant to do? Regardless, there needs to be a change in the voting system. I 1,000% believe you need to get non-Hall of Fame players voting for their contemporaries. Those are the ones who know. Non-Hall of Fame players, not the ones who are in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame, once you're in the Hall of Fame, you shouldn't have a vote for shit. The Hall of Fame committee vote, I think, is fucking garbage. And I just say that because every Hall of Famer that you add, it diminishes the value of the guys that are in there, whether they like it or not. It's true, right? So they're going to try to keep out as many as possible. So what do I recommend? Take, I don't know, a guy like me who's not going to make it into the Hall of Fame, but played across 11 seasons to see who were some of the best players. So I think from, 86 until today, and I say 86 because that's when I really started paying attention to Major League Baseball at 9 years old, I would have a good say. But obviously not just me. This isn't about me at all. This is about players who were there, who knew, who understood, who are willing to dive into the numbers. You almost put together a committee, right? And you have a roundtable discussion. You go back and forth. Before it's a yes or no on any of these guys, we come up with, hey, what did this guy define an era of baseball? And I'll take Will Clark, for example, obviously. I'm a bit biased, but he defined an entire era of San Francisco Giants baseball. So that's the type of shit that I think needs to be recognized. Don Mattingly, same thing. Don Mattingly needs to be in the Hall of Fame. That was an entire decade of New York Yankees baseball was defined by Don Mattingly. Yet, not in the Hall of Fame. Same sort of thing for Will Clark in San Francisco. Okay, another somewhat controversial thing, and I didn't even think about it, but MLB The Show 25 on the cover has three dudes: Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles, Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Ellie De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds. And you make a case for all these guys to be on there. And yes, I get it. I understand. Let's highlight and celebrate these great young players in the game of baseball. Well, the more you look at it, there was one major omittance from that cover. And you might as well have just added the quad. Where the fuck is Bobby Witt Jr.? Is he too old? He's 24. Bobby Witt Jr. is the biggest undercover superstar in the game of baseball. He is that fucking good. So to think that we left Bobby Witt Jr. off of the cover, and yet you put Ellie De La Cruz on, you put the numbers side by side, it's not even close. Bobby Witt Jr. has been the much better player. That said, I love Ellie. He is the most electric player in the game of baseball. He literally is the one guy that I would pay to go see play. How do you know that? Because I fucking did it. I went to a San Francisco Giants Cincinnati Reds game last season just to watch Ellie. It was incentive to go to the ballpark. Usually I'm just going to go to the ballpark. I don't look who's playing. I don't give a shit who's playing. It's just like, okay, Giants and somebody else. I went specifically for Ellie. So I do understand that. But you can't leave Bobby Witt Jr. off. Not if you're going after this core of young kids. He's a few months older than a couple of these guys. He should have been on there, needed to be on there, was not on there. Hopefully they can go ahead and figure it out. Okay, San Diego Padres general manager AJ Preller made an interesting comment at the team's fan fest over the weekend, saying the club needed to add a bat or two and an arm or two. Makes sense, but who? Of the 40 free agents on the Athletics big board, only 6 are unsigned. First baseman Pete Alonso, third baseman Alex Bregman, right-hander Nick Pivetta, lefties Andrew Heaney and Jose Quintana, and outfielder Alex Verdugo. So you look at what's going on here. You have the absolute debacle with the Seiler family, who they're fighting over control of the team, the Seiler brothers, as well as his ex-wife. So as they try to figure out what the fuck's going on there, the Padres haven't done shit. At some point, they need to do something. And you wonder if they're just waiting in the wings. Alonso would be an unbelievable fit there. The polar bear in San Diego just fucking hitting bullets off that warehouse all day. Yes, yes, yes. So I do agree with AJ Preller. You wonder if the Pods actually try to make something happen here as we get really, really close to spring training. Tax trouble looming in Toronto. The Toronto Blue Jays luxury tax payroll by Fangraphs estimation stands at $273.3 million, which raises the question, are the Jays willing to sign a prominent free agent such as Alonso or Bregman and extend first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a combination of moves that might put them over the highest luxury tax threshold? I don't think they give a shit. The Toronto Blue Jays have been trying to do anything and everything to get better. They have to sign Vlad. They got to sign Vlad. And if not only do you sign Vlad, but you got to pair him up with somebody. So the thought of signing Bregman, the thought of signing Pete Alonso there in Toronto would make a shit ton of sense. Okay, the Kansas City Royals were not the only team that tried to sign free agent outfielder Anthony Santander to a shorter deal. The Los Angeles Angels also made a run at Santander, proposing 3- and 4-year concepts, according to sources briefed on the discussion. Santander instead, of course, opted for the 5-year, $92.5 million contract with the Blue Jays, 2/3 of which was deferred. Yeah, what's a team like the Angels doing? What's Mike Trout doing? I mean, the Angels they're easy to root for, right? You got Trout, you got Ron Washington over there. It says the Angels' pursuit of Santander is the latest indication of the team continuing to explore upgrades. The addition of free agent closer such as Kenley Jansen or Kyle Finnegan is one possibility, but the Angels might prefer to simply go with Ben Joyce. Yeah, the guy that throws 105. I think I could roll with that. So, all right, John Davis, what's up, man? Good morning to you, dude. Let's see. Do they have a tariff every time they come to the U.S.? Yeah, this is going to get interesting. What the fuck? The trade wars between Canada, Mexico, and China and the United States. I don't know. Look, Trump came out guns blazing. We certainly know that. Devin, good morning to you. Yes, the Pro Bowl is a joke. No doubt about it. Joe. Sup, Joe? Heading to AZ, buddy. See your boy Kowalski. You look, the bottom line with the whole Toronto Blue Jays thing, and it's really fascinating. They're always going to have the problem because not only are they going to have to deal with the fact that they don't play in the United States, but the taxes there are ridiculous. So they're going to have to continue to overpay. So long-term success outside of the United States in Canada, it's hard. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Look, Toronto's such a fucking great city. I loved going to Toronto. Some of the best restaurants, cleanest streets in the biggest city I've ever seen. Oh, just fucking immaculate. No, that's probably why they pay 60% tax, but it's all good. Yeah. Socialism, I mean, it's not for me, but if you're into that sort of thing, Toronto's a great place. Back at you maybe tomorrow. So traveling, but I will try to get the Daily Hustle up and rolling. Like I said, it's AZ time. Go down there every single year. This time of year, meet up with Joey Bag of Donuts, Houston Street, Bernard, this crew, Phoenix Open Week. Have you mentioned Phoenix Open? But it is Phoenix Open Week. You can see my boy KJ tomorrow night. Yes, at your boy KJ. If you haven't seen Kelly James perform, this is fucking amazing. So, all that said, everyone have a fantastic week. We will be back at you. 0 degrees in North Dakota. Devin, holy shit, man. I mean, I'm dealing with a mix of rain and snow and rain, and it can't figure out what the fuck to do. I'm right at the snow line. We're at 6,500 feet. So it was supposed to be. So I'm looking up on the mountain. It's snowing over here, and I'm looking down over here, and it's raining. It's not 0 degrees, though. It's probably in that like 34-degree range right now. Here's the good thing about the 0 degrees, man. You go outside, it lets you know you're fucking alive, right, Devin? Just like that. How about 84 at AZ today? Seriously, Joe? Holy shit. Yeah, Stormy Byrnes weather reports will continue to come at you. All right, have a fantastic week. And at some point, we will be doing another Daily Hustle, whether it's tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. I'll let you know. Or maybe not. That's it. See ya!